do have to love us when we're in.
But I can change it too.
Precious baby.
Oh yeah, we can change it.
And I'm not into plastic surgery.
Oh, it ain't plastic surgery, girl.
What do you mean you're not into plastic surgery?
Yeah.
What are you so against?
The thrill of victory comes with the agony of defeat. This life ain't for everybody. You don't know what it cost me, but no pressure, no pressure. I was made for this life. No diamonds, made for this life. No diamonds, no pressure, no diamonds.
I want to take this time to introduce our girlfriend. She's not just a friend or a girlfriend, she's more like a sister. She's been in my life for over 20 plus years. Our parents, our fathers were actually best friends growing up, and when I met her, I didn't know that was her dad, and then we became friends and we just started talking, and then we figured that part out. But without further ado, we want to just go ahead and bring our girl Dawn.
Welcome
to the show.
We're so excited
Thanks
to
for being
have
a
you
part
here
of it.
today.
Yes.
But before we get into learning about Dawn and everything, what are we sipping on today, Kayla?
So today I think we have the Stella Rose and it's tropical mango. And it
Nice.
tastes so good, so good.
So Dawn, before we sip on the show, we like to just bring it to the center. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about everything. So let's sip to that.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So Dawn, we are so excited to have you here, and the three of us, we're married. And not saying that anything's wrong with that, but we want the tea today, or the rundown. What is it like being single or dating during a pandemic? We want all the juicy news. Tell us, how is it? Because we want to know.
Okay, well, let's just be clear. Dating and being single and then having a corona boyfriend is two different things, okay?
Okay.
I have got to be honest. So right now during the pandemic, doing the things that I would not normally do, I've been doing. I've felt bouts of loneliness because all I had was children to talk to during that time. So it's been driving me crazy, and I can't go through my rotation like I want to, but I'm still single, so I had to figure out how to navigate through that during that pandemic, and it was such a major change. I'm trying to, do a new routine and stuff like that. So it's good, but it's not all it's cracked up to be. I honestly wanted to be in a serious relationship during the pandemic now because I didn't have anyone, which normally I was like, okay, I'm fine. I don't want to.
Trying to be
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. You've shared with me in the past about, wanting to be married, finding that special person, and you have a list. I know because we talk about it all the time. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, okay, go ahead. Tell them. Go ahead. I'll let you tell your story.
What part do you want me to tell?
Everything.
Like
A lot of
criteria.
women have a list though. So do you have a list?
A list of when I want to be married, or
like
No,
a list of what you're
what,
looking
what
for?
thing to check off the box?
Ooh.
Look, like what needs to be.
Like
I have
must
those
be 6'8".
I have the deal breakers.
What is
I would like a man that's not smoking.
Okay.
He has to at least make what I'm making more. I mean, let's just be cut to the chase. I'm
Right.
41 years old, so I don't have time to try to move up the ladder with that. I've been back and forth. I normally like light-skinned men, but right now the brown-skinned brothers are rolling, so I'm okay with that. The other deal breakers I would want to say, basically, I like nice straight teeth. I like a smile. You have to have a sense of humor. I prefer you not be married already the first time. But I mean, it's getting harder. I'm gonna say the dating pool has definitely closed.
Yes,
when you get a
or
little
do you
older.
find yourself
So-
crossing some things off? Like, you know what, he got this, but he has this, so I'm just gonna cross that off and go with him anyway.
Sometimes, and I think, but I did that during the pandemic because I think I was a little desperate because I just missed having companionship at that time. I like men that are a little bit taller as well, but Yeah, I think we're still in the pandemic, so I would say
Right.
that. But I think if we weren't, I think there's certain things I would absolutely not go for.
I'm not gonna lie. I had a list when I was before dating, or when I was dating before marriage. I have a list, and one of the things on my list is straight teeth as well. And if y'all know my story, y'all know. Sorry, but I gotta say this. Y'all know. He knows his teeth were not up to my standards. So I found myself trying to push him away, but it was just something that kept pulling me back. So I knew that straight teeth was on my list along with a lot of other things, but I said, am I willing to, miss out on someone who could potentially be good for me just because this is not right? So what can I do to tell him, like, I like you, but bruh.
Well, I think I think I could deal with not having straight teeth versus more so like I don't want anyone that smokes. Because you can go to the dentist, we can get actually,
Right.
smoking is already pretty much a habit, and
Bad
you're
breath.
set in your way.
Yeah, that's just nasty.
Bad breath?
Bad breath.
Bad breath.
Yeah.
Very bad breath. I don't
She
like
ain't
bad
doing
breath.
it. Girl, we already been
So
there.
that's a non-negotiable, that's a deal.
Yeah, we already had that conversation.
Yeah, I don't think I could do a smoker either.
Well, I know for
I
cigarettes.
can't do a smoker.
Well, I can't do a smoker.
I used to smoke cigarettes and beyond, but
Friends smoking
But
and having a
I never-
boyfriend that smokes, two different things.
Yeah, because you
but
can
there's
swallow
levels to
smoke.
that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
There's
no, but there are
smoke.
levels. To me, there's levels to smoking cigarette. I mean, if I could smell it on you, which nobody ever could smell it on me, I never smoked inside and stuff like that. So that was just. But
Were
Nate,
you
that
like
was
a
a
social
non like negotiable with Nate. Like he didn't like that I smoked, and he used to always say something, but I was, like whatever.
Yeah, but
I was
did
pretty
you
wild.
smoke? Were you a chain
No,
smoker?
I wasn't a
Just
chain
like
smoker. Maybe
a
one,
social
two
smoker.
cigarette. Yeah, like when I
Yeah.
would drink and stuff.
Yes,
Right.
that's a different type of.
But I know
smoking,
even for
still.
me,
Right.
I feel like when I was dating before I got married, I would always date someone who, like you said, they have to have a career, have what you have, if not more. That was never my situation. I always, both the last boyfriends that I had before getting married, both of them lived at home. And I was on my own.
I don't think I like that either.
But like even with Nate, like, he was at home at that time. But look where we are today.
But also
You-
that's in his 20s.
can you-
We're not
can you
talking
say
about
that? No,
your
like-
30s. Yes, we can
Yeah.
absolutely
Well,
do
yes,
that.
yes.
So I
in my,
get that.
yes, in my
Fine.
20s, there is a
You're still
difference.
college coming out fresh in debt. We've all had it. We've all been to college. So I get that. But I'm just saying
No, in
from
your
a standpoint,
situation,
41,
yeah.
not unless you were helping
Yeah, you
your
don't want that,
sick,
yeah.
ill mother.
Well, I'm just
like,
saying for
that's-
younger people, we don't want to be like, oh, he gotta have. Or he
Absolutely.
gotta do that. You
Right.
want to be able
Yeah.
to.
Because you want to be able to encourage and motivate. I feel like in order for a relationship to work, you have to want to encourage someone to do better. So if they may be lacking in that area, that's where you can come in and speak life to them and say,
Like if you're a professional woman and you're single and like you're a professional woman in your 40s, and then you meet a man and he's a mailman.
what's
That's
wrong
not
with
a,
that?
that's not a bad, that's not a bad
They're
career,
hard,
but
They're
there's
hard working.
Yeah,
I don't
but
feel
there's
like that's
some
the
way-
issue.
Yeah.
Now, if he's not hard working, he goes from job to job to job to job. He has no
Correct.
passion.
Yeah, no
he has
plan.
Then to me,
Ambition.
that's a different.
Yeah, I used to
Correct.
always ask Art, my husband, I used to say, would you date somebody if they worked fast food or something like that? He's like, as long as she had a plan, like if she had a plan with what she wanted to do, then I don't have a problem. I'm not gonna sit here and be with you for 10 plus years and you still doing the same thing. You have to show that you're willing to grow and have some type of idea of where you want to go
So
in
those
life.
short-term and long-term goals.
Exactly.
So
Right.
you can grow with someone. I'm a firm believer with that. Those words of affirmations definitely set the tone. But right, there's a difference between a lazy worker, you know what I mean, lack of ambition and things like that. If you start from the ground and build your way up, I'm fine with that too. So you do this, I guess, needs to define it just to make sure
Right.
what type of man we're dealing with. And I think depending on who you like, also depends on whether you would deal with this with one person, but you wouldn't deal with that with another.
I think so too. Yeah.
So people would like to say that I got married at first sight, right? Because Nate and I, we only knew each other for about 6 months before we said we were going to get married. And we got married within that year.
Mhm.
So we knew each other 1 year. So our anniversary comes.
That ain't first sight, sis.
Well,
I
kind
watched
of.
Married at First Sight.
Right, right,
But
but
married
that's
at First Sight. That's married at 6 months.
Well,
So you-
some people still think that's too short. Some people still think
that
that's
is
too short.
But is there a
This is your
time
first
limit?
marriage.
Is there a time limit on how long you should date someone before you say I do, or
I
before
don't
you make
think
it
so.
official. You don't
Because
think
I
to
think
each
so.
his own. I think
Yeah.
that depends on how much you grow and learn that person.
Would you get married at first sight?
Not at first sight, but
You wouldn't go on the show?
Let's set
I would
you up.
not.
I would
But
not do that.
But 6 months I can see, like imagine I met a guy right before the pandemic happened and then we wound up moving in fast, that moved fast, and now we've been living together for 6 months to a year. I can see like, well, I'm gonna marry him. We've had all this time together now because of what's going on. Something I would have spread it apart had we not been in the pandemic.
And I think the pandemic does help push things along. I'm not getting married at first sight. I will watch the show, but I'm not marrying anybody at first sight. Because if I'm marrying at first sight, I'm ignorant, first of all. And if the people match me and it's not right, no. It's a whole problem. So I can't get married at first sight, but I can move fast. Because I am a lover and I want to be in love. And I know I want to get married since I was like 2.
Same.
So
Same, when you already had the colors picked out, you already
Exactly.
know who you wanted.
Bridesmaids.
Absolutely. I'm just waiting on the right man. That's why I said I'm already getting married. I just need him to show up. I
So
always say
Stella,
that.
if you
I put
out
my wedding
there,
date, I just need him to
she's
show up.
ready. What's your Instagram? What's your Instagram?
Oh gosh, Miss Teflon Dawn.
Hey!
Don't nothing slick on me. That's the Rick Ross.
I'll jump to that.
Right?
You put me on board with that one, but we'll put that in the comments. And fellas, if you're single and you're ready to mingle, hit
I'll let you
Donna.
there.
So, Kayla, would you get married at first sight? We know
No,
you're already married. but would
Definitely
you get
not.
married?
Definitely not.
Why? You look like you.
Actually, you know what? I probably would. I take that back. You know what? Because I think I'm honestly such a patient person. Like, such a patient person. But I could probably tell somebody, like, nah, this ain't working. We ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And that's just what it would
Do you guys watch the show?
I do. I have watched
Yeah,
it
have you?
before.
I haven't watched
Are you
it.
watching this season?
I am
No.
not. I found out
But I feel like
That's
they pair the people with, I guess, who they're supposed to be matched with.
Supposed
technically.
to. But they need to hire me as a matchmaker because this season, Lifetime, off the chain. If y'all not watching, we're not even gonna talk about it. But
I seen
if
the
you watch
comments,
Married
so-
at First Sight, hit me up on my page. We can talk about that. Meet me every Wednesday because I definitely talk about it on Facebook. But that's crazy. So since y'all don't watch it, we're not gonna get into it.
But yeah, I probably would, but I just.
You can kind of say you were married at first sight. Y'all been together since high school, right? Like that's like.
Girl.
That's take a long
That
time to
is
get
years.
married. That is
Yeah.
Married at First Sight. You don't watch.
But
the
they
show.
knew they were getting married.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they
Like,
did.
let me stop.
I think
speaking.
they knew. I think they knew they
How
were
did you know
right for each
Steven
other.
was the one? Because y'all started dating when y'all were kids. Technically, I remember seeing you.
Teenagers.
Teenage. That's a kid. Teenage.
Yeah.
Honestly,
In your
I
adolescence.
did not until we went to college.
What made you like? How did you know that he was? The
Because
one?
honestly, like how you talk about growing with someone, I felt like we grew together.
Mhm.
Like so, then we began to understand what you like, what I like. So it was like a natural thing for us to like make each other feel good, make each other happy. So I felt like we just grew together, and even like the common things that we like.
Yeah. So
And
how
being
did-
so young, how did you guys adjust with the outside influences of? I mean, your husband is an athlete, is an he was a pro athlete, and how did you guys deal with? You're beautiful, and you were an athlete as well.
D1 cheerleader. Or
Cheer,
D2?
and I'm sure you had guys trying to knock your door down, literally.
Bust it out.
But how did y'all like?
Okay, so not
maneuver through.
I
college?
wouldn't say, not really. I think it's like a double standard when it comes to that because, okay, so I was dating probably the top athlete at my school. So, like, yeah, guys would see me and they would look at me, but they'd be like, nah, we ain't messing with her because we already know.
You can tell us.
Type thing,
Did people
but-
try? You can tell
but-
us. We won't tell Steven. Did people try?
No, people did try, but like they just knew, you know what I'm saying? And my response would always be the same thing, like, no, I'm good, like, whatever. But on the other hand, ooh, girls are a trip, man.
Is that another topic or what?
Ooh, that might be another topic, but it was a lot of girls. I would just be like, well,
They
If-
tried.
No, you knew you flung that ponytail to the side and like, don't you try.
I did a couple
Don't you
times. I
try.
did a couple times.
You had to take
But
it.
I just feel like, I mean, we've been together this long, so if he wanted to bite, then he would have.
That's a
He would've
good
done
point.
it.
Yeah, because
But-
at the end of the day, men are gonna do
What
whatever
men
they
are
want
gonna
to
do, yep, yep.
So you really
And
can't.
So I
take
just
that.
felt like if I couldn't keep him, then he wasn't meant to be kept.
They're gonna
So
slide through DMs. They're gonna slide through DMs.
Yes, they're
If
gonna do what they wanna
They're
do.
gonna ask for a number. They're gonna do it. So how did you know Nate was the one?
I wasn't prepared for that one. He knew he was ready. He was probably more ready than I was.
Even with the age, like y'all have
we're
an age
8 years.
difference.
We're 8 years apart. I'm 8 years older, and even then, like he just was so much more mature.
So did
Even
he give you
then-
the reassurance, like, yeah, we're good? Since
Um,
he
There
knew
had
so
to be
much,
something.
yeah.
What was it?
No, we had a lot of ups and downs. So it wasn't we were dating and then we got married and then like we have this happy fairy tale.
Nobody does.
Like
No, but
we
because
went
I
through
feel
it up
like-
and down. But at first it was me. Like I don't know if I was ready to be committed. So like we got married and then I was like, yeah, I don't know because I was a partier. Like,
But
I used to
how
be-
did you know he was the one?
Do you
sis?
see him?
So you knew.
Do you see him? My man is fine.
So there you go. That's your
He's
answer.
fine, and I'm not giving you the inside details because I don't be, flaunting my stuff to everybody. So, because women out here these days, if you loving what you got, they gonna want to love what you got too.
That is
So I
true.
kind of keep that to myself. But no, he definitely was a looker, and then he approached me, and then but I was a wild person. Like I used to party all the time. So, and he's from kind of like a country area to me. So me going out and stuff, I wasn't done doing that. And that made our relationship be a little bit of a roller
So
coaster.
you balance each other out, kind of. You knew that he's probably the one because you guys give each other something. Like you're outgoing and he's kind of reserved, but together you guys kind of balance each other.
Yeah, we do. We know when to it's like a push and pull type of thing. And our relationship has a little bit of that. And then, it might go like that, but then it's like this, and then we're like this. So it's
and now y'all are like this. That's what you did.
today.
Well, I knew mine was the well. Actually, in the
We didn't
beginning,
ask. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
in the
Right,
beginning,
go ahead.
in the beginning, I tried not to, but I knew that he was the one, basically, because I could just be myself around him. Sometimes as women, you try to pretend that you're something. I know, like our first date, he was like, "Where do you want to go?" I was like, "You can just take me to McDonald's." And he was like, "I know she's gonna get either like a chicken salad or some chicken nuggets." And I was like, "Nah, I'm actually getting a Big Mac." And he was just like, "What?" And I was like, "I never could do that in front of anybody else, but somebody that just kind of wants to support you, encourage you, and speak life into you. I never had that, and can sit and have like some really intellectual conversations and challenge me." I was like, "Oh, he might be alright once he gets his teeth fixed."
You said that was the most serious face.
But no, after that, I was just like, all right, this is somebody that I can see myself growing with. And everybody has bumps and roller coasters, but yeah. So when you meet someone, how do you know? Like when you see, how you know if like, hey, I'm gonna go on this next date, or we gonna cut them off? How do you know?
Based off the first day, how they act, what we talk about, right? If it's like a stimulating conversation, I'm a goofball. I'm gonna tell you that straight off. So if they're okay with dealing with me, when I'm cracking up, I'm laughing, I'm telling you, I'll laugh you right out the draws. I feel like I've been a comedian in my past life. So I like to laugh too. I want to be myself too. But I think the first day, everyone's always trying to just slightly impress the person. So there'll be a second one, and then by the like, you let your hair down, and then you just go full throttle. But I would say when I'm dating a guy, or when I meet him the first time, I definitely look for shoes, teeth, posture, things like that. Just to see like if he's well versed in things like that. Like now I want to travel more. I'm a big traveler. I'm past, like those little teeny Miami trips and stuff. Like I want to go out of the country. I have passports. I want
Try to
to
get
stamp.
stamped.
Right. So those are the things I kind of look for.
Try to
See
get
if there's
flued
a-
out.
Flued out. Exactly.
Yeah.
Try to see if there's another date. So sometimes I look at them and I think, oh yeah, I could see this going further, and then they do something right there, mess it up. I'm like, oh, he's not the one. Okay. Next, because I have a rotation.
You will cut them off that
Yeah,
quick?
she
I
does.
just quick.
Yeah,
Quick.
she
I don't
does.
have,
There are
I'm
no
not trying to be
chances.
rude, but men do it all the time. And since I'm single, I can do the same thing that a man does. I have a rotation Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That does not mean that I'm sleeping with all
Right.
of them. But I have a rotation. So if you don't work out, I'm working on the next one. And I think you have to date around a little bit just so you can see if this is the one person I want to settle down with, and then put the rest to the
Kind of
side.
like Lori Harvey, right?
But you
But
know what? I
she's
think
not
that
a
was
hoe.
seriously
She's
so.
not a hoe.
I think that was
Absolutely.
uncommon. Like, before, I guess,
Right, it
But
was
in
This
post
generation,
that.
but yeah, 2020, I feel like that's very.
2012.
Yeah,
I was definitely having.
I would be
Might
taking
as well.
forever. I dated one person, didn't work out. Dated one person, it didn't work out. Dated one person, so
You
then
have to
did
have
four.
options, and I think that's what I tell a lot of my single friends. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with dating with a purpose, but having options.
Absolutely.
And I think I did the same thing. Like you said, it doesn't mean you're sleeping with them. Everyone is just different, and you're just kind of seeing what they can offer you. Like I know when I was single, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna call this person when I just want to have some popcorn and snacks, or I want to call this person when I want to maybe just go get my nails done or something. They knew what it
It's not the
was.
purpose.
Yeah, everybody starts
and
call this person when I want to talk
Exactly,
about politics.
exactly.
Like, because I
You
know
do.
it's gonna give me good conversation.
You do. I've got those friends who ride out with their, excuse me, like the hood ones, bump the music and act like they sell drugs. Excuse me, they don't, but act like it. You've got the ones that are corporate that speak well.
You know
And
who
you've got,
to pick
yeah,
from.
you've got your friends where you just do Netflix and chill with, and hopefully I can just find that all in one person, or I'm okay with just a couple of things not being in all one person. I don't think you find everything in one person anyway.
Right.
I don't want to say settle, but you're okay with who you're with. You're fine with building with.
And
that
if
person.
men can do it, how come women cannot? And
Because
like you
there's a
said,
double
Lori
standard.
Harvey,
Yeah.
Lori Harvey, they say that she's a hoe and she's this, she's that.
Absolutely not.
But
She's
I mean, we
single.
don't know what she's doing with that now. Her choices are terrible. I mean, this one she has now is
Actually,
a great
this is an upgrade.
This is an upgrade. But when
Absolutely.
you messing with people that they shoot the club up with bang bang, get your kids.
Yeah, like how old are we now? We have to-
Yeah, you might want to
we
run
have
from
to
those
Mhm.
people. Like if you're trying to date someone and you see their history, those are red
Red
flags.
flags.
I think she was trying to have fun.
That's a good one about red
You
flags.
think
But
so?
why-
But to me, it's like, why are you trying to have fun and then all of a sudden you just get to this
Yeah,
guy
and you-
who you know is way more serious than the
Yeah.
other guys
Because
you
she's
dated
young.
previously.
And you're running the
And-
risk of
no,
being
but-
baby mama number 90.
But she's not sleeping with them.
But you
all.
also have to
She
understand
don't
your
know. I think
age
she was
where they're
definitely
40,
doing
they
that.
think differently, too.
She was definitely probably doing it. to
Yeah, we don't
future.
know that, though.
We don't. We really don't.
I mean, I'm sure he gets the panties because he has about 15 kids, but I'm just saying that you
Well,
don't
those
know
are
that
definitely
the
because
facts.
could you say that people may think you sleep with all these different people?
Yeah,
Like
they're gonna
I know
say
men
that.
be in your inbox like, oh, you was out on a date when they
Sure
see
did.
your sneakers up to, next to some, another, because that's what you'll do. She will post a picture and she's
24
on
hours
a date, have her little glass by their shoes and show that she's on a date, and then
Inbox.
someone's in your inbox.
Oh, so that's how it is? Oh, that's what you're doing? Yeah,
And they
that's
think
what I'm
you're
doing.
doing
That's how
something.
it
And that's
is.
just the double standard.
So
like
do you
said.
find that they are like, okay, I don't want to be a part of this anymore?
Oh,
Or
absolutely not.
Oh,
They're
they're
in my
still-
inbox,
They
so
still
it's
slide
fine. They
through.
still slide through.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I want to bring that up too. It's not even the single ones. It's some of the ones that are in relationships and married too, which isn't cool.
Oh,
So I make sure-
entanglements. They
yeah, so I
want
make sure they
entanglements?
slide right on out.
Oh, they want
Because-
side
Wow.
chick. Speaking of, have y'all ever been a side chick?
no.
Not that I know willingly.
Ever.
Right.
Yeah.
I think everybody's
No.
been a side chick
Yeah.
unwillingly because a man is cheating and you didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But willingly, I've not been a side chick. I can't do number two.
Yeah.
I
I
like to be number one.
can. I did.
But-
But now, if you
No.
find that very surprisingly.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised
I-
you got my neck wet. I'm like, my neck. We didn't talk about that.
I was in college.
Wait, did you say you were or you?
No, she was the side piece, girl. Go ahead.
Oh, wait
And
a
like-
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
And like,
I did,
yeah.
and I enjoyed it. I
This is
enjoyed it. And this is
transparency.
new for everyone. I'm very transparent, but it was a part of my life that I'm not proud of because, I mean, they're happily married now. And she knew about me too. Ooh. I mean, it was cool. I mean, we're young. I mean, they shouldn't have been trying to be that serious anyway. But it was cool.
Okay.
But they're married now, and he's
Oh,
doing his
dang, you
thing.
would have caught the ponytail for me.
I mean, I knew she knew about me, but we didn't have to do it all the time. He just took me out to dinner and we just did fun stuff.
Did it
Did
fun
it
stuff.
I have a question.
That's
By
interesting.
I have a question. By me being single, how do you feel when your significant other has a female friend as a friend? Because I know
Like a
a lot
best
of guys,
friend?
yeah, like a best friend. Because I've had a couple guys now that are dating in serious relationships or married, and some of them pull back and they're going, "I can't be your friend. I can't hang with you." My girlfriend or my wife said that, and I'm fine. I respect
Yeah.
that. But it's hurtful because I don't always. All my best friends are not all female.
I'm
So-
okay
but
with
I
it.
know my boundaries and I know where.
I'm
But
okay
mine-
with it. And a friend of mine actually just posted that on her Instagram. I guess somebody on TikTok made a video about that. My husband will have no
Female friends?
female friends and was like doing all these things or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And she did a poll. And I am for it as long as you've never been sexually involved with them and I know them. Actually, we had his female best friend is now my friend. She talks to me more than she talks to him because we have formed that relationship. And the first thing I asked both of them when he told me, I said, have y'all been sexually active? And she's beautiful, so I was like, I need to know the truth. So they both claim no because she was dating his best friend. So years and years, I consider her one of my best girlfriends now. And same with him. I have 2 male friends that I said, I want you to meet them. He said, have y'all did it? I said, no. And we're literally just friends. So I feel like if you're going to have those opposite sex friends, you have to, 1, be able to trust them, 2, be open and honest. If you did do those things, you should at least let them know. And then I think you should cut it off because that's inappropriate.
But really, because me and one of my best friends, we actually dated. He was the side piece when I was married the first time. And we were in, but I was 20 when I got married the first time. So he was the side piece. And now, we've been friends ever since then. It's going on 22, 23 years of friendship. He doesn't live in this area. And I mean, even though I have seen him, we've hung out, I've introduced him to my husband. But we have not had anything for 23 years or whatever.
But does it change the dynamics if I were to say I did sleep with?
But I said, no, he knows.
Anymore.
But he knows. And I don't think he really liked it at first. And I think over the years, maybe it's something he just tolerated. But actually, he got married and he did it to me twice. In his first marriage, he said he couldn't talk to me anymore. So, cool. And this is before I got married to Nate. And then he was divorced and said, our friendship, I should have never got rid of our friendship because my marriage didn't even work. You weren't a problem. And I was like, I know I wasn't a problem because I don't want you. But, and then now he's married again and his wife wanted him not to speak to me. But he told her no, but I backed away. And I'm okay with that. Like, and now they're going through their stuff or whatever. And I just tell them, I'm here if you want to talk. But I'm not putting my 2 cents in your marriage.
I don't do no new friends. If you're going to have a friend from the past, it needs to be no sexual relations. And they have to make an effort at least to ask and inquire about me, and that's what happened in my case. But no new friends. I don't got time for that. I'm your only friend.
I don't really do the new friends. I'm definitely okay if you have a friend of the opposite sex. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Even if they were sexually
as long
involved?
as no, I don't know about that. I think that's a deal breaker for me. You're gonna have to let her go.
But I know your husband because that's my brother, and he said you ain't having no friends.
Actually, he's lying because I do have some, but they're not like we don't interact. I don't interact with them on a daily basis, but they are my friends. Like I honestly had a lot of male friends in high school, tons of them, literally all of them. But do we stay in contact on a daily basis? No, of course we don't. But whenever we see each other, it's like, hey, what's up, girl? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, we can hold conversation, and it's great. But they know my husband. I introduce him. They know our relationship. They're not worried about, and they're all married or have kids, and so it's really no big deal.
And that's the respect factor.
Right.
And that's why I think if you do have friends of the opposite sex, they need to try to meet each other. And 2 of my guy friends, they always reach out to my husband, and like when he lost them, they were like, yeah, just let him know I'm praying for him, I'm actually going to reach out to him and all this other stuff. So it's nothing there. Like we've never been involved in that way, and I'm actually good friends with their wives now. One of them, I hooked them up. Y'all know who y'all are. I'm responsible for y'all. But the other one, like, I'm now friends with his wife and everything.
So you mentioned that as long as they didn't sleep together or that that or whatever, but or that person dated the best friend. Well, I know relationships where 2 people were together and the one that was stepping out with that one's best friend. You know what I'm saying? So, I always find that when people cheat, they cheat right close, like kind of close to home. And I found that a few times. So how do you feel about that? And I also know that some women think that men or the opposite sex can cheat respectfully, whatever that may be. As long as you don't this, as long as you don't that, as long as you don't this, then I'm okay with whatever's going on outside of my
So I'll touch on the first thing that you said. I do think that it is very easy for men and women to cheat close to home because you feel comfortable with a certain person. If you already had ties with that person, if you already had conversations with that person, then it's easier for you to step out on your significant other with that other person. I just feel like it's like a comfort thing, honestly.
Well,
But
I'm confident that ain't
the other
happening.
thing, the respectfully thing,
I
I definitely heard about that. I wouldn't.
It's a new
agree.
show, right?
Yeah.
What?
I don't even know what the show is.
Cheating respectfully?
Yes.
No, it's called
No,
something Queens.
Yes, it's called Something Queens. Like the women, they were just having a casual conversation, and they were talking about men, and like she was like, "Oh, I'll find the perfect man," and she was like, because basically, like, I can deal with him doing certain things, but certain things I'm not gonna deal with. Now, if he wants to cheat, he can cheat respectfully. And so I'm basically looking at her like, what? What do you mean?
What? That's celebrity
So
stuff.
she
though.
broke it down. Basically, one, you can't bring anything home, so you need to use protection at all times. Two, babies included. Do not bring a baby into their relationship, marriage, whatever it may be, entanglement. I don't know. But
And there was
and
a
three is, what was the third thing?
Don't let me find out. That's what she
Yes,
said.
yes. Don't let me find
But
out.
that's what celebrities do. So that could be a
But
celebrity
are they
thing.
celebrities?
But cheating respectfully is very popular amongst.
But honestly, celebrities are real people too. So
But they can do that. If you work at Bojangles, you ain't no cheating respectfully. Like that's cheating is cheating. I don't think you can cheat respectfully
Exactly.
anyway.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing right about that, and you can't be respectful.
I
when
feel
you're
like-
going out.
I feel like there definitely is.
I think cheating
You think
respectfully
you
is
can
the new
cheat?
language for
No,
open
no.
relationship.
I could not do it. But I do think that a lot of women would say, yeah, if I didn't find out, then I
It would
didn't
be
know
no
about
harm
it.
to
Yeah,
me.
it would be
Like,
no
I
harm
don't
to me.
know.
There was no drama brought to my
But
door.
nobody wants to
That's
get
what I
caught
said.
cheating anyway. Like, how can you say that when the goal is you don't want to get caught, but you're gonna get caught eventually?
Eventually.
Because what's done in the dark always comes into the light. So you saying cheat respectfully? There's no respectful
The
way.
two words don't go together.
It
right?
doesn't. It's like
They
a
don't.
oxymoron. That sounds stupid.
It is, but listen to this. So if you're in a marriage and you find out that the other person was cheating, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna say, all right, well, I'm gonna have to let you go? Or
Now
we're
it's
gonna have to part
levels to
ways?
cheating.
It is, and
It's like
that's
what?
they're
No,
doing.
a cheat is a cheat.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's levels. So it's like, were you physically intimate with this person, or were you just
So
having?
to me, it
That's where I
doesn't. To me,
disagree.
it doesn't matter, honestly.
Yeah.
So somebody slides in DMs
But even if it was a physical type of thing, I would have to say like, no, I'm gonna have to let you go. But there's some women in a marriage that I'm respectfully letting you cheat, or I respectfully let you cheat because you
And I'm
did
gonna
it.
respectfully
But
let you go.
I'm acknowledging that you did it, and I'm forgiving you, and we're moving forward because I want to be married to you. But we're gonna figure this out.
I think cheating is cheating. Cheating is cheating, no matter how it is, because when you're on an intimate level with somebody, that is devastating in itself, right? Like
Emotional hurt.
Yeah,
but if you're entertaining or having a relationship verbally with somebody, then you're connecting on a whole nother level. which is emotional, spiritual, you
Getting to
know,
know
in there.
them.
Yeah, that takes time. That takes more time than a sit. You might as well just
And not
stick
even
it in
just
and then
verbally.
roll out.
Not
I'd rather
even
you tell
verbally.
me.
Even if you're doing it socially,
Right.
media, whatever, like all of that is still considered
Yeah.
cheating.
But
I
I think
believe
when you
so.
were saying about the levels, I think that's where it starts with the talking and the flirting and the texting, and then eventually it moves to something a little bit more, and a little bit more, to the point where that's how eventually, I think at some point they get
They
caught.
bite.
Yep, they bite and they get caught. But I think as a single person, that's where I step in, and I'm like, I shut it down. I shut it down because I'm not married. I want to be married. I'm hoping that there's another woman out there one day. If my man, husband, should have a slide in someone, I want somebody to shut it down just like me too. So I don't know. I can't say for sure, but that's how I feel.
And I think as a wife, when I say there's levels, I'm thinking like, okay, physically, you step out on your marriage or your relationship, that's a deal breaker. You're done. You've made the choice to step out and become intimate with someone. Now, you slide through a DM and you whisper sweet nothings and you feed lies. I'm gonna be very upset, and I'm gonna forgive. But just know that you get no more chances after that. So that's why I said there's levels, because there's a difference. Because sometimes you have to think about what you have invested in. Just know, like, there's no more chances after that. But sexual intercourse outside of your marriage, I'm done. Like that's a deal breaker.
And I was gonna
We're
say,
getting to the
So
courthouse.
what you're saying is how some women do feel. There's so much that I invested into that. So then that's when the respectfully cheating comes into play. All right, I let you do it. I acknowledged it, but we're gonna move on because I invested too much.
But can you really move past someone?
But there are a lot of people who do
I
that.
don't think I could.
I know
if I
that
knew
there are
somebody
a lot
was
of people who
physically cheating with somebody, I can't. This
But
is
see,
me. I can't do
Makes
that.
it easier for me to walk out the door and be like,
Yes.
bye. Now again, when you're married, you do have things invested. And when I say that, I want to be clear, not money wise, but just your time, your energy, like you said,
Kids.
emotional, your children, other things like that. I mean, bank accounts are merged and things like that. You're living in the same home, whereas maybe I'm single and we come to each other's houses at that time. It's easier for me to be like, bye. I don't have time for that versus you might want to sit down and kind of think about that. Okay, well, he didn't sexually cheat, but he did slide in a DM and say something to somebody, and let's just see. But I'm afraid, like, if you didn't catch it or find it then, was it going to go further? And then that's always on my mind. So I gotta
Exactly.
think, do I want to go any further with it, or when's the next time is going to be the time that you're actually having sex, and when's the next time that you're bringing home an STD, or the next time that you're bringing home a child? Because I'm with that Wendy Williams stuff. Like, you have a baby.
Yeah.
No.
Or am I really what you want? Because the
Right.
person that you slide in DMs or
But
you're
sometimes
talking
they're
to.
totally opposite of the
Right,
woman that
that
they're
they're
involved with or they're married with. It.
Yeah.
And I mean, either, I'm not trying to be rude, but either they can be, you know, prettier or not pretty at
But not
all.
really.
I don't know if it's just the fact that that's, like you said, they just kind of went for whatever it took the bait.
And
I don't
maybe it
know.
could just be I think everybody has that in the back of their mind, like, I don't need this. Like, I could do better. When things are not going right, I think it's human nature for people in general to think about what they could be getting from somewhere else.
Mhm.
But it's different when you actually act on it. That's when it becomes a problem. Like, okay, we can all have those thoughts, but you need to have self-control and not go out there. But you also mentioned having kids too.
Mhm.
You have 2 children,
I
right?
do.
So when you're dating, how soon do you bring children to meet your person?
I don't. When I was dating, it was like 6 months when I had Ryan. It was 6 months before I started dating and bringing someone else around Ryan. And I actually dated while he was at his father's house. And I would do the things that I need to do while he was away and come back. Did not live, did not come over. And I was hell bent on that because I'm not one of the ladies where I just want every guy I meet to meet my children.
Yeah.
They're so innocent, they're so cute, and they attach themselves to people, so I wouldn't want to subject them to that till I knew that I was ready. I might consider it sooner, because I haven't done it yet, but I would consider it sooner now that I'm dating men that have children. Maybe we could do a little, they play date, exactly, but prior to that, no, I didn't. I
And
didn't do
these
it
days, you
at
have to
all.
be careful. Like, I work in the school system, and, you know, oftentimes I talk to some of my students who, they constantly meet boyfriend after boyfriend or girlfriend after girlfriend. And what we have to realize is that kids form attachments really
They do.
quick. So I always try to just encourage some of my single friends or just some of the people that I work with, it affects your child, you know, so just be mindful of how soon you're bringing them around, and really don't do it until you know that that person could be a potential serious candidate or something, because I think kids form attachments just really quick, and that affects them in the long run.
Correct.
So I'm glad that you kind of don't do that, and if they have
Yeah, I
kids,
do
that is a good opportunity to have a play date and a little date at the same time,
Correct.
and you can see how they interact with your kids, so that's like a test.
That is true. To see if I like the kids.
I know,
What
when I-
Exactly.
I'm just keeping it real.
Right. What I used to do was, I mean, and I'm sure this is like your case as well. Like, you become friends with someone first, and then they become your spouse. So, like, you know, if they're just your friend and they're coming around during the day, and your kids meet them as a friend, then you know what I mean.
But
like,
kids
you
know.
Well-
These kids in 2021.
Well,
They
yeah,
know.
because when Taylor was small, I had a guy friend. We had been friends since I was in high school, and him and I always hung out together, and we had relations in the, you know, in the nighttime when she was gone. But she didn't see that. She didn't see none. She didn't see that, but because literally he's been in my life since I was 15, so like we were friends anyway. We decided that we would, you know, do other things, but it was always after hours. So when we hung out, it was like with other people as well, but Taylor could tell she could not stand him. One day we went to just go shopping or whatever, and he wasn't buying. so I knew he wasn't the one. And she was in the back, and she was acting up, and he was like, Taylor, that is just not how little girls are. She said, hey, you can go home. And I was like, oh yeah, you're not the one. I was like, I can't even try to date you. Just see you at 2 a.m.
That's important though.
Let's go ahead.
I was gonna say, you just want to make sure that your kid, first of all, respects.
Yeah.
Again, and if you feel it, then that's definitely
Yeah. I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna
This is
work.
gonna work
Yeah.
out.
This isn't gonna work. And he was like, but I love you. I was like, no, you don't.
We can just be entangled.
No,
No.
I can backtrack
Yeah.
and just say the one person that has, everybody knows, Jason. Jason has definitely likes the kids like him, but that's because he's already my
And
friend.
see, that's the one. But that's a different. That's
Listen,
another-
that's a
Oh,
whole
God.
nother show. So,
But,
ladies,
yeah.
that's a whole nother
That's a
show.
whole nother
And
show, is it?
It is. But we enjoy having Dawn over today on the show.
It has been great.
This is really nice. Are you gonna come back and see us sometime?
If you guys would have me again, sure, I'd love to.
Or, go
So
ahead.
I was just wondering, what advice, like what's one thing that you could tell someone who is either looking to date or maybe is married and just is really in a low point? What advice would you give a woman out there who is just trying to either pursue dating with children or just pursue dating, or just a wife who may need some words of encouragement? What would you say?
I would still say just take your time. It's okay. You do not have to settle. There's someone out there for everybody. I would also want to say that if you have children, you don't have to rush into it. Just see if everybody. I believe in also like maybe sometimes dating and going to their house and going to your house and kind of just seeing what it might be like if both of you guys have children and kind of cohabitate together just a little bit, just to see how it works. Because I think if you don't know how the person lives all the time, and then you go and blend a family together, that might be a different outcome. So I definitely say you can definitely just take your time. There's no rush. I don't have a clock ticking when it comes to that. I find someone. If I don't, I'm okay too.
Kayla, what advice would you give someone who's either trying to pursue dating or a wife who's out there just really in a tough place?
So dating, I feel like I couldn't speak on it because you know what, honestly, if I was dating at this time, I would not have a clue in the world. Like, I would be up in the house, like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, I really wouldn't know where to go, what to do. So I would be lost, dating wise. But for a married woman, words of encouragement, I would have to say, you're a boss.
Yeah.
You're a boss, you know, if you are married, if you are a wife, if you are a mom, you are a boss. Keep that word of affirmation in your head and step with that every single day, because I feel like us as women, like, we can do anything, literally anything. Like, I see myself sometimes, I'm like, dang, I can't even believe I did this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Like, I can multitask some crazy things these days. And I think, like, we just learn to adjust. We learn to adjust and juggle a lot. And even at our low points, like, we are strong, like, strong as hell. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I could be like, sometimes I could be a mess, and I swear nobody would know it. Like, not that I'm a mess, but like, I made me not feel like myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, no one would know it. I still would make sure, like, he's good, she's good. I'm looking out for other people. I might not even look out for myself at some time. So I just feel like us as women, moms, and wives, like, we are bosses. Like, seriously.
What about you,
It's
Steph?
another level.
For the woman that is pursuing dating, I'm gonna speak to the older women because I have some friends who are just, they feel like they're in that older category. You know, there's no time limit. You know, don't put the pressure on yourself because God has that perfect person waiting for you. Little do we know, like, and opposites attract. That person that you may think that you've never been attracted to may be the one, sis. And just, you know, if they don't have everything on your list, let that list go. Because sometimes the person that you need to love is right in front of you. He may not be making 6 figures. He may not have the fanciest car, but he may be the one for you that's going to love you, respect you, and honor you. And for the wife, just continue doing your thing. Don't lose yourself. Stay cute. Don't keep it on mute. And give up the cookie. Well, until next time.
Wait a minute.
Did you guys
So
do
are
it?
we sliding? Was
Oh my
that answering the questions? Are we
No, I
sliding
just
out?
thought you guys gave all of what I would have said.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The only thing I probably would add is that get yourself a girlfriend. Get yourself a glass of wine. Always have your girlfriends. Dawn knows, like, I call her. She'll be like, look, I can't speak on married people business because I'm not married and never have been. Get you a friend like that will listen to you and that will just support you. You know, nobody's there to tell you what to do. No one can tell you what to do.
I always
Only
say,
you.
You're right.
No.
I normally say, am I listening? Are you speaking for
Right.
me to respond?
She
or just
says
for
that.
me to just listen to what you're saying?
Okay, Dawn, you are the perfect
I'm
best
just saying,
friend.
no,
She is, I'm
sometimes
telling
friends
you.
need to just
So when are we going
But
on
she
the
is my
yacht?
friend.
Again,
Tell them.
she said ours, so I
Well,
guess
no, hours, but when she's talking to me, she'll be like, I mean, I'm your friend. Are we with him or are we not with him? Right now, are we with him or we not with him? And I'm like, okay, you're with me.
What we
She's like,
doing?
okay, what we doing?
I'm like, are you packing or is he packing? Like,
And
where we going?
everybody needs a friend like Dawn.
Yes,
So if
yes.
you don't
And then on that
have
way,
one, buy
right.
one.
Get you a real
And
one.
single men, don't forget to follow her. We're gonna put it in So boss up on 3.
Okay.
Until next time.
1,
2,
2, 3.
Boss up.